We're glad everybody's here. We're going to have a great day for Kelly. We got a lot of food and drink, a lot of family, friends here from Atlanta, Birmingham, all over. And we're just glad you're here. I'm going to introduce a friend of mine. He's been my friend for over 40 years, and we've been business partners. We've been roommates. Even dated the same women a few times. Hey, Lori. I told her to get you.
Nice call.
Anyway, I thought losing my dad was probably the hardest thing that ever happened to me. But I think Kelly won up. And right now, Greg's going to read a little bit from the Pensacola News Journal. So my good friend Greg Hardy.
We're here for the memory of Kelly Walls. Kelly Allison Walls blessed us with her smiling face on September 27, 1968. In Atlanta, Georgia, on May 31st, she quietly left us as she slept. She had lived in Pensacola for the last 24 years. Kelly was a talented photographer and a gifted artist. In the late 1990s, she co-owned an art gallery, The Muse. It featured local artists. Works displayed among home furnishings. She was also an avid and lifelong student of various subjects, including Egyptology, astronomy, mythology, and the spiritual beliefs of other cultures. In addition to having so many talents and interests, she was a very funny lady. She was preceded by her beloved father, Jack Walls. She is survived by her mother, Norma Walls. Her sister, Denise Kirk and Mike, brothers Mitch Layton and Tammy, and Shad Bradley Walls. She also leaves behind 5 nieces, 14 great-nieces and nephews, as well as 4 loving aunts. Kelly will be missed by numerous cousins and her many friends. She is also survived by her cherished and most dear companion of 14 years, Jeffrey Roush. For those who wish to make a donation in Kelly Walls' name, please consider the American Heart Association. Kelly Walls, you will be missed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Greg. I'm going to share a few stories throughout the day of mine and Kelly. Kelly was probably the woman I spent most of my time. Most of my time with in my life. She was an awesome person. We got some real special guests that are coming by. Some of her biggest fans that she was a fan of growing up, and they're actually going to come by a little bit later and do a little tribute to her. And right now, I want to introduce some of the family. I'd like to come up. Mom, can you not come up? It's okay. CJ?
Sure, I can do it.
Come up. Denise. And Jeff, if you think you can come up. I'm going to let Denise say a few words. Sorry.
I don't really know what I can say except for she was my Kelly doll. And when she was little, I remember when she and Lori were, I don't know, what were you, maybe 8 or 9? And I was driving. I was actually married by then. And they used, no matter where we'd go, she would say, "Hey, Niecy, can I go too?" So I was like the only teenager in Marietta, Georgia, who had a back seat full of kids. Because wherever I went, Brad, Kelly, Lori, they were always with me. But the funniest thing I remember was when they were little, my bus stop used to be at the babysitter's house. And every day from middle school forward, they would stand on the front porch of the babysitter's house and wave at the school bus. And I couldn't leave them there. So every day, we would truck 2.5 blocks with a book bag and 2 little kids to go home and wait for Mom to get home from work. It almost seems like just all my life, I just, having a sidekick. And then she came to live with us when I had children. And she nannied Ashley and Brandy. And she taught them some really neat things and then some not so neat things. But they used to, she taught them to sing using a candlestick and play the tennis racket. So, but the one thing that they wanted me to be sure and tell today, because they could neither one be here today, but I've talked to both of them. And they wanted me to tell the story of the generational thing that has now been passed on to my grandchildren. We didn't have a lot of money when Kelly lived with us, and so they entertained themselves in a lot of different ways. But Laura, you may have come over for some of these too. The ceiling fan was a wonderful opportunity. Kelly got creative, and one day she was folding my laundry, and she was putting together socks, and realized that socks in the ceiling fan were a really cool opportunity for entertainment. So that became the fun things that they would do, and it would be a contest. So the bigger wad of socks you could get, and the higher you turned the ceiling fan, the farther the socks would go when they hit it and shot across all rooms in our house. So now the girls have now taught, Ashley taught her kids to do it in vaulted ceilings. So the socks go amazingly far. Thomas thinks that is the coolest thing that Aunt Kelly ever taught them was socks as a ceiling fan. So she's going to be missed so much in her talent. And we haven't been as close in the last few years for a lot of reasons, but she's always been in my prayers and still is. And I will miss her smile, I think, the most of all. And the fact that I always told her the one thing that I wished I had of hers, and that was her beautiful, luscious lips. And I said, "You are so blessed, and you're all over here." And this is why the picture with the fedora is my favorite, because it just shows how beautiful she was, and how, you just look at it and you can see that's Kelly. So that's really all I can say. Is thanks for coming today.
Where CJ is sitting right now, there's a guest book, and we'd like everybody to. Oh, Dana's got it. Okay. Like everybody to sign that. I want to give a special thanks to CJ, Annie, cousin Sandy, and our friend John for this incredible work they've done on the house, the yard. It looks awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
This is just so great. Like Denise said, Ashley and Brandy couldn't be here today, nor could Tiffany and Danielle. They're all spread across the United States right now. And our beloved brother Mitch is in, he's working in Texas, but he did come in when Kelly passed and spent some time with Mom and the family. And so we want to think about them today also. I guess and like Denise said, she was instrumental in raising all 5 of her nieces. And I guess Nikki is the only one here today. Would you like to get up and speak, daughter? You don't think you can? Okay. We want to invite everybody to get up and speak, share your stories, funny jokes, or condolences. Our good friends Jason and Tina, who are running the video and the music over here, they're playing a bunch of Kelly's favorites from Sinatra to Slipknot. She had such an eclectic taste in music, and that was her life. She cherished her music, and every evening she blasted it from her room. And so that's one of my favorite memories of her. And the last time that I'd actually gone out with Kelly, Jason and Tina led the lighthouse tours, the Pensacola Lighthouse, which is supposedly haunted. And I have to tell you, me and Kelly both felt like we got touched that night. Kelly was really into the paranormal, so that was a great treat for her. We thank you guys for those tickets to that. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of food, some music, and some special guests that are going to stop by here shortly. Anything you can think of? You are going to read it. Okay. I didn't think CJ would get up here, but she is. So you don't want this? Okay. Here's my lovely Aunt CJ.
I can be heard, but if you speak loud, it's good. Okay, as I mentioned, Kelly loved the night sky. And together we watched the moonrise of the 4th Pigeons, the dark stairs. We also watched the meteor shower of Pleiades from the bluffs. And because of those nights, this excerpt that I plan to read is very appropriate. The voice of a father speaking to his child, clouds of heaven, and it's from Walt Whitman's On the Beach at Night. These gathering clouds shall not long be victorious. They shall not long possess the sky. Jupiter shall know. Be patient. Watch again another night. The Pleiades shall know. For they are immortal. All those stars but silvery, golden, shining dim. The great stars and the little ones shall shine out again, for they enjoy the vast mortal suns and long-enduring pensive moons shall again shine. Something there is more immortal even than a star. Something shall endure longer, even into earth, longer than suns, or revolving satellites, or even those radiant sisters, the Pleiades. For me, that ever-enduring something is my dear girl's beautiful soul.
Also, I want to thank everybody, friends and family. I also want to thank the people on Facebook. It's just been an outpouring of love. People have shared pictures. So many people have commented, sent their condolences, and so I'm quite sure if you know how Kelly felt about Facebook, she's pretty pissed off right now. So she wasn't on there, and she kind of despised that. But I do thank all those people there. Just want to share a couple quick stories. My last visit with Kelly, when I was growing up, it was a treat for us to have ribs or steak with 4 kids, and I promised myself when I got out on my own, I was eating steak and ribs every single night, and that's probably why the doctor told me not to now. But for about 3 years we did that, and Kelly lived with me and Jackie, Nikki's mom, and Nikki was just born, and so Kelly, after she left, said, "I'll never eat another damn rib or steak in my life. You have burnt me out on it." About a week before I came down, she sent me her usual 2 o'clock in the morning message, and I said, "My darling brother, I'm craving ribs. I don't know why." So when I came down, Nikki and I came down to visit, and I made her some beef ribs on the grill, and she loved it. She loved it. My last conversation with her, Kelly would had a hard time texting or calling back. She didn't do that often, so we didn't get to talk as much as I would have liked. And my last conversation was the night before she passed, and we talked about everything from childhood, up till now. She said she was feeling good and was doing her art, which was awesome. She had built a little art studio in here, and we got to talking about everything, and we talked about Greg and I in July are going to see the band we grew up on, Kiss. And it was mine and Kelly's first concert together. So we shared just some stories about the band, and Greg and I, ironically, were supposed to be down here today to visit, just for a vacation. We had talked about taking her to Peg Lake Pete's for some oysters and all that. And so it was a great conversation. And then the next morning, I got the news. But we had a great talk. We reminisced, and like I said, that was mine and Greg and her first concert. And we told her, we'll come down and get you. We want you to go to the show with us and everything. And it was just a really good talk. Now I'm gonna, like I said, we've got some special guests coming by here shortly. Here's Cousin Wendell.
I just made it off the crane.
Making a grand appearance as always, grand entrance. Yeah, we got some special guests coming up here shortly. But I'd like to invite anybody now. Jason's going to just have some music in the background. I think he's going to play some Kiss now, aren't you? Because Kelly kind of said, I'd like to hear some good Kiss. So he's going to keep it kind of low. Anybody who wants to come up is welcome. Jason will have the microphone over here. You're welcome to get up and tell your stories, anything, any little anecdotes about Kelly, anything you have. And I love you all, and I thank you for coming.